Welcome to the reading of Entangled Web of Destruction, Chapter 2, Nilia, Devil's Inn. The large monastery fades in the distance as Nilia strolls down the dirt road towards Port Soul. The recent rain has saturated the dirt path and mud splatters against her long cloak as she attempts to dodge the giant puddles of water. Separating from her son is the hardest thing she has done in years. There will be no possibility of returning once she arrives on the shores of the mainland. She presses a small bag against her breast as her heart flutters faster and a wagon rumbles down the street, startling her. Regaining her composure, she holds her head high and takes a deep breath, focusing on putting one foot in front of the other. Port Soul is an old fisherman's town that houses runaways, bandits, and those who wish to remain unseen. A few young sailors stand on the end of the porch of the inn, watching Nelia approach. She pulls the hood of her cloak closer as she enters the door, keeping her head down and making her way through the crowd. The smell of whiskey assails her nose as she approaches the bar. The patrons' bodies brush against her as she moves through the swarm of people searching for the innkeeper. "Sir, I'm looking for Alex," she whispers. His gestures toward the nearest corner. An older gentleman grabs her arm, pulls her into a poorly lit area, and forcibly pushes her against the wall. His muscular body is only inches away from her, and the smell of wine takes her breath away. Her gaze locks with his bloodshot eyes as they stare at each other. Nelia tries to squirm away, but his arm blocks her path. She clutches her fist as magic circulates through her veins, wanting to inflict pain upon the man. Her eyes widen and turn dark as she gazes into the distance. Alexander emerges from the shadows, placing his sword against the gentleman's throat. "Release her. King Richard has a reward for her whereabouts. Do you dare take food from my family's table and deprive me of the riches he would give me? I will spill your blood upon this floor if you do not release her. I do not care about your family or yourself. Richard does not scare me, for I am loyal to King Jonathan." "I will not do that," the man slurs, staggering to his right, and he pulls her with him as they collide into a table, knocking it off balance. "Sorceress, the bounty will feed my family for months." Nulia and the man tumble to the ground, and the tavern goes silent as the people gaze at the commotion. Alexander does not take his eyes off the two, but trouble is about to stir, and their only hope is to make it to the ship. "I'm not your property," snaps Nulia, pulling her arm free and pushing him away. "Never place your hand on me again." The man reaches for her cloak and fails as Alexander places the blade between the two. "She is a royal servant to the crown. I demand you to stop, or I will take your life for treason." Nelia watches several men in the tavern unveiling their tunics, displaying King Richard's coat of arms. She attempts to pull Alexander away, but he hesitates, refusing to look at her. "Your action gained attention to several of King Richard's knights," she whispered, placing her hand on the sword's blade and forcing it away. "I do not wish to die here, do you?" Alexander's eyes narrow as he searches the room for a moment. He places his hand on Nelia's lower back, guiding her to the front as the crowd moves away. Once outside, he wraps his arms around hers as they walk towards the shipping port, and neither look back, knowing they are being observed. "Why does Richard have a bounty for me? He's been searching for you since you left, fearing you would return to prevent him from overtaking Splinter Vale. He knows you can destroy the warlock who serves him." "Elvis," she shivers. "An old foe. It's been nothing but trouble. I was hoping Richard would have destroyed him by now. They have gained more power and influence over the past few years. It would be nice to have you back home." If only she was happy to return home as everyone else is to see her. It seems there are more enemies than she anticipated, including an old rival who once served her father. She may need to reach out to her sister to seek guidance and find out what Elvis is planning, but she does not want to discuss her whereabouts over the last 10 years. Nelia stands on the ship's deck of the Serenas, watching the shoreline fade in the distance. Tears swell in her eyes and stream down her pale cheeks, knowing she will never see her son again. Taking a deep breath, she tosses her cloak off her shoulders and conjures two doves. The birds descend from the sky, landing on the deck. The twin birds shake their wings as a white aurora illuminates their surroundings. The creatures grow tall and slim, transforming into two identical ladies. Their long silver hair glides down their back with silver shards tucked in the braids. The white and silver lace gowns flow to the ground. Their beauty catches a few sailors off guard, disturbing their duties of the ship. Delia, you have sent for us, they speak in harmony. Send word to her majesty, I'm returning to Splinter Vale. Safe journey, Nelia. A flash of light encircles the ladies so they shift back into the doves and fly away. You never cease to amaze me, sorceress, says Alexander. A few years ago, they searched for a new companion. After theirs died, they found me at the monastery. I still don't understand how, but I sometimes wonder if my sister sent them to find me. She pulls his hands into hers. You have always been caring and never doubted my innocence after Liliana's murder. I will never forget your kindness. You are the light that will bring happiness back to many. Don't let the past define you or your love for Charnel blind you to what is coming. Splintered Vale needs your strength. Below the deck in their cabin, Nilly appears out the small porthole as she listens to Alexander snoring. She grabs onto the ropes secured to the wall as the ship jerks against the crashing waves of the storm stirring over the soulless sea. It will take days before they reach Port Welsh, giving her enough time to run through different scenarios about how she should respond to Charnel when they reunite.